Okay, we've started.
Welcome to Cousins Corner.
JOL, Rick,
and Josh.
And I'm Laz.
Woo! Alright.
So, okay, Josh. So this is exciting and new and something we've just decided to go ahead and do. And
yeah, it only took us like a month.
so this is the first one. So we're still figuring stuff out. Probably the ones after this.
They don't need to know that. They can tell just by listening.
Oh, great, and the hiccups have come back.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So Josh, so now that we've started, what were you thinking would be a good topic that we could start on with this first endeavor?
Since we're all pretty much in different stages of our life for games and stuff like that, whether we just watch or still play them, asking, what makes a good game to you guys? Like, what does it look like? How does it feel to you? This can be any type of genre.
Okay, first of all, I got specific genres, but I'll go through those three things you mentioned. First of all, controls gotta be good.
Yeah.
Gameplay has to be good.
So
like elementary things like cameras and stuff like that. Like a lot of games, they focus a lot on polish because people get all butthurt if it doesn't have perfect polish. But
you know what? Pixels, literal pixel type of games where it's like VVVVV or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Probably set too many
that's a game. That's a game that has good gameplay, and it's like gameplay is important. Like graphics, like I'm staring at these ugly ass Wii games with like super old graphics and junk like that. I understand why people like to have nice graphics because I go over and I play other people's stuff with the nice graphics.
Yeah.
But like, it is one of those things. Like graphics is a secondary thing to me. Same with gameplay. So controls, like basic things like controls, and it has to function properly, and then gameplay. So that's it for me.
To some degree, like polish, like the look of it. Isn't as important as like the story or like for the type of genres that I'm talking about would be like RPGs and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, of course it matters on the genre. But it's like story is expected in so many genres where it used to be like the story didn't matter.
Like single first-person shooter games and stuff like that.
Yeah, those have stories now. Like friggin' like fighting games have stories now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like why do they have stories? It doesn't matter. They have stories now. Everything has to have a story.
Man,
everything has got to have stories.
Well, I think it's just that once a certain genre gets oversaturated, like especially with fighting games, it really takes a lot to make one game in particular stand out from the lot. What makes this game better than all the other ones out there, right? And usually it's because of the story and the characters.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: is that like you look at first-person shooters, like.
And controls, but like the thing, Rick, is also kind of like, you can really like the characters, but on it, like as soon as you pop back into that game, no matter how much nostalgia layer is on top of that, it will break down as soon as you feel like, man, like these controls are horrible. Nothing against the Mortal Kombat system of trying to fight, but I cannot maybe I just suck at like fighting games or stuff like that.
No, Mortal Kombat sucks.
Like the combos are just like,
they're not
crazy.
Intuitive. That's the problem. They're not intuitive. They're not designed to be played.
For the record, Street Fighter is a much better control, in terms of intuitive controls that you can pick up and play. I prefer Street Fighter over Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat is a good example of a game that had it had that storyline, it had those characters, it had
actually had a better storyline, I think.
It did.
Street Fighter had a non-existent storyline.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I like the Mortal Kombat movie. Although both Street Fighter movie and Mortal Kombat movie are bad, the Mortal Kombat movie is better than Street Fighter.
Because the Mortal Kombat game had more story.
Because it had more.
It had text crawls.
It could totally work as a film in terms of story, but Street Fighter as a movie did not work because it's just about a tournament. We've already seen Bloodsport, so.
You know what? Tournament, like the whole thing about tournaments.
Tekken is also about a tournament.
Oh no! I saw the story.
Tekken's got weird kind of storylines too.
Tekken has a weird control for that.
I actually really like Tekken because I think the controls are a lot simpler than most other fighting games.
I feel it's way too basic though. That it's just kind of like you run through your combos.
That's what makes it good. There's this like so many fighting games nowadays.
There should be at least two. There should be two levels though. Like one level for like you can begin and you're able to fight against either beginners or even advanced guys. And you don't need to know all the combos. The second one is
the problem is with that kind of thing is that when you have a game that has that kind of thing where there is that higher level, those guys just dominate everything. Because you want to play online and all those games, you get nothing but your ass kicked by those guys who play it so hard. A game like Tekken or Soul Calibur or Dead or Alive what's it called? Skullgirls, shit like that, or that Persona fighting game. Those things make it so that
it's like a Persona fighting arena, Persona 4 arena.
He's talking
about Persona 4
it's
arena.
more level. So that,
more balanced game.
It makes it, the way it's set up is that, like, even if you suck, you won't get, like,
obliterated.
Beasted on. You won't get bodied as much as the other kind of games.
Yeah.
Like Marvel vs. Capcom, you will die.
Same with Street Fighter.
You know,
as much as I love
you
Street
will
Fighter,
die.
as much as I love most of the Street Fighter games, those games are very unbalanced compared to Tekken.
It's just like, if you become good enough, it's like you just destroy anybody who's not as good. It's like it's.
And then you try to play online, and then you have to figure in with lag and stuff like that, and and your opponents also have lag as well, so that throws in a totally different thing. I totally think that there could be people that like do way better at one or the other, but they can't do both. Maybe
dude,
it's
like I remember playing a game of Tekken, and it was like the lag actually helped. You know, because
it throws the other guy off.
Or something. The other guy off because the guy was like, he was better than me, obviously, but it screwed up his rhythm.
Injustice. On a like kind of side topic. Injustice is based off of
Mortal
Kombat battle system. Yeah, I tried. Like I enjoyed the supers. I enjoyed the graphics. It felt very kind of like post-apocalyptic type of like superhero type of feeling. I also just really enjoy that they're able to completely level the battlefield. It was just like, Superman's invincible? Oh yeah, people can fight him now though too.
Yeah, because of MacGuffin. We got a bunch of MacGuffins. Everyone take a MacGuffin, now we can fight Superman.
They actually had the physical pills that like made you strong enough and it made your bone density like steel, and that was their gimmick.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It doesn't look. It's the plot of a fighting game. Calm down.
Yeah,
it's the plot of a fighting game.
Something I was thinking about when it comes to the games that I really enjoy. There's like common things that all those games, like all those games have in common. And I think the games I really like are games that give you a lot of freedom. And even something like Super Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins, it was way different than the other Mario game that came out for Game Boy because you could actually go back. You could go all the way to the end of the level, and then you could go all the way back if you missed an item or missed a secret area. You could actually go back, which they carried on later in the other Mario games. But
wait, which ones? Could
you go back in Mario World?
Yeah, it was like Mario 3. You could go back.
The one thing I don't enjoy is like when it's just like it makes you progress, and it's like it's an entirely linear battle, whereas it's like you can't go back. You miss so much stuff.
So Mario 1 and Mario Land 1 for the Game Boy.
Mario 2.
Mario 2, you could go back? You could.
No, you couldn't.
Or are you talking about Lost Levels or Mario 2, like the Doki Doki Panic?
Doki Doki Panic.
Where you pick stuff and throw it? You could go back?
Oh, wait, no, you're right. You could go back.
Yeah, you could go back.
You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but Mario 1, you
Lost Levels, let's forget about that.
But I was thinking
Lost Levels, didn't they say like they kept the Lost Levels away from North America because they didn't think the kids would be able to recognize or understand the concept that a mushroom can kill you? Which is mainly which is usually the case.
I'm glad they did that because fuck the Lost Levels.
Yeah, that's not as much of a classic as the other sequels. So and I was thinking later on as we got into like the next gen systems, like the thing that was really big when Nintendo 64 came out with Super Mario 64 is that it was like an open environment where you could go anywhere. And I remember
it was very broken up. It was like very fragmented. Like
it was, but you still were able to go like wherever you wanted. Really, like they give you pretty much free range. Whereas like a lot of other 3D games, you were kind of stuck on that linear path. Yeah. There wasn't a lot where you could kind of go. And
the natural progression, I think, is kind of a sandbox.
And I found like other games that we got into, like Twisted Metal and stuff like that, Jumping Flash. We were always trying to like see how far you could go before you entered, like you hit the boundary of that area you're in. Like there would be an invisible wall. Or I remember games like Rogue Trip, the other one that was kind of a Twisted Metal knockoff. There's like a level where it's like near a beach, and I remember if you keep trying to just go past the waves, just keep pushing you back into the beach.
We're trying to figure out ways to get onto stuff that you weren't supposed to go onto it. It was like game scenery stuff,
right?
But we were trying to get onto things that like you weren't supposed to go that part of the level.
And we did that for hours, and I found like, wow, we were having so much fun. We weren't even playing the game; we were just exploring the environment. And so I find like, a lot of the games like Skyrim and stuff like that now, where you just have these huge open environments and you have the freedom to like kind of explore. You're not just stuck like, okay, you can't go to this area yet because you need this key and stuff like that. I like those kind of games where you have freedom. Games where you're just kind of like, you're just stuck in, you're limited, but like right away you need these items, you need this thing, you need this ability. I'm like, those games aren't as much fun as the ones where you just have like freedom.
Two things on
range.
that. Yeah. One, I think they also continue that with Super Mario Sunshine, because you can go into those areas and like that no matter kind of how small some of those areas can be, like you'd be able to kind of explore them, and like sometimes you'd be able to actually jump into different missions, like no matter like whatever original mission you had.
I like
and two, so basically kind of like backtracking for games you wouldn't really enjoy, like Metroid and stuff like that. Like,
oh no, I don't mind, because like, I mean, Resident Evil was kind of like that too, where you have to backtrack, you have to go back for some item, or you have to go back to an area where you had a key. Yeah, a special key. Zelda's like that too.
So then what's the kind of distinction then between like those games and like backtracking in like other situations? Is it like the enjoyment, like there's no challenge, or is it just needless backtracking?
Well, it's not needless if it's like if you're progressing like in Resident Evil, like there'll probably be a reason why you can't go to a certain area, and then later on you get an item that you can go there, like a key or like a crank.
If it opens up a whole new area that's all cool, it's cool. But if it's like you backtrack just to pick up an item in a drawer, that's kind of bullshit. Like if it opens up an area you couldn't get to before, that's cool. But if it's like, oh, you got the key, now I can go to that stupid drawer that you couldn't open.
The thing is that could happen though. Like the thing is with Resident Evil, it was annoying sometimes when you had to go all the way back for a key or something stupid. But that's kind of part of it too. You kind of have to do that. Actually, I don't mind.
That's why I can't get. You would be able to get into areas that you couldn't get into.
I think it's just part of the game. I think with certain games, it's just part of it. You kind of have to like, keep in mind, I'll have to go there later. Not right now, but I will.
Well, I'm okay with backtracking.
Even Doom was like that too.
Yeah, okay. I'm okay with backtracking.
And then there's fetch quests, which is just like
okay. There you go.
Like
there's a distinction.
Where it's like you need to go back to do this, and it's just like why? It's like just because I need to make you this thing, and it's like, and it's not even like a critical plot thing where it's just like you need to have this type of thing, so
it's equivalent. It's the equivalent of filler in a movie.
It is.
Right?
It is.
It's just kind of like just to waste of time.
It's to pad out the game,
so you don't get to the ending right away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Did Final Fantasy have that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots.
This apparently it's kind of like a Final Fantasy like type of game called Bravely Default. Have you guys heard of it?
I actually have, sadly enough. I have.
Not sadly enough. I've played the demo of it. It's pretty interesting. It's
like
a decent RPG, but I've heard that there's like significant backtracking / blatant fetch quest type of thing.
It's an old style Final Fantasy. I know because I know it's like the sequel or something of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicle. And I only know about it because I know about Crystal Chronicle. And the only reason I know about Crystal Chronicle is because
I know Crystal Chronicle.
Yeah, so it's the old style. So I mean, you're gonna have those problems the old style used to have.
Yeah. Do you guys? What do you guys feel for like a game's graphics or not graphics? Art style. I think that's kind of a distinction because
that can be a big.
Yeah. I think
for me,
that's a big thing. Yeah.
I mean, a side-scrolling game. It all depends on its art style.
Yeah.
Like it could be like a huge, big
side-scrolling
success, or it could be just another ugly copy of Mario, right? I look at a game like Rayman Legends, and I go, wow, like the art style of that game really makes it awesome. It's already a good game, but I think that the fact that it looks like a cartoon and not like a game really has a lot of appeal for me. Because those are the kind of games I like are kind of escapism kind of games where it's like Mario, like Call of Duty and those kind of games are fun to play too. But
25.
I don't really like the realistic games as much as I like like Donkey Kong and stuff like that and Mario and Sonic. Just because I like seeing original enemies, original bosses. You know, like oh, well, we're gonna make
I think
you
Sonic
know, a
and
chicken
Donkey
robot
Kong
or
are
a
only-
boss, or have like a really like
Instead
cool.
of just some guy with a gun.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's what you're gonna get with Call of Duty. I don't think you're gonna get anything really crazy or different other than just like military dudes. Other than like I guess there's zombie things.
Yeah,
but that's like a side game.
Yeah, just like
It's a
side games and stuff like that.
And like
so,
zombies really are kind of boring themselves too. They're just
Actually, you need to be able to use them well. Like, you can't like. There's Left 4 Dead zombie use, where it's just like it's like. Have you guys seen the trailer
I like
for
Left 4 Dead, man.
you guys seen the trailer for Hyrulean Warriors, right?
Yeah, I have.
It's a Zelda.
It's a Zelda game.
Okay,
but
hold
it
up.
doesn't look like a Zelda game.
All right, so after watching the Hyrule Warriors like trailer and stuff like that, what do you think of it? Like,
I like it. I think it looks fun.
Like
I think it looks. Doesn't look like much besides just like hacking and slashing guys.
yeah.
It looks like you get some pretty powerful upgrades if you're just like. Basically, you're Sauron at the beginning of Lord of the Rings and just slashing like all these guys in a row and just taking them out. It looks so powerful. It looks like no one. Look at that. He's just like taking on an army by himself.
Yeah, like
that looks like
when
fun,
he's using the fire rod, it's just
I think that game looks like fun.
To be fair, he's like killing moblins.
I would
or
play
something.
this game. I think this would be an enjoyable Zelda game. I haven't played that many. I know there's the one that Laz has that I haven't really seen much of that one.
Skyward Sword or
No,
Twilight Princess?
the one where you're riding the horse and all
Yeah,
that.
Twilight
Ocarina?
Princess.
Twilight Princess?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one's all right, but I think this one it looks a little more action oriented. Same with like Skyward Sword
Yeah.
too. Skyward Sword, it looked like you didn't even have a sword at the beginning.
No, but you know.
Usually sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
No, modern Zeldas, you never start out with a sword. It's
Yeah,
always
yours you don't start out with a
Well,
sword either.
Actually, hold up.
You're just, like, herding
Legend of
horses.
Zelda: Link Between Worlds.
Yeah,
basically-
because that's an old style.
Because the old ones,
It's an
yeah.
old
The
school
newer
style.
ones never do. But
You always have
this
to
one looks
be-
good. I think it looks good. The graphics look good. That Dodongo looks crazy.
The Dongo just likes being
got a good
destroyed
number
by
of
Link.
parts. I think it
Bomb
looks
some
good.
Dodongos. And you
Yeah.
know what's funny? You actually do gotta bomb the Dongos. I mean, that's the best weapon for them.
Actually, wait. You've played Super Paper Mario, guys, right?
No.
I have.
Okay.
I played
You know those
two of
weird
those.
slugs where you have to feed them the
Dude,
bombs to
how
kill them?
the fuck am I gonna
They
remember?
were
like,
one of
an
the
enemy
early
of, like-
bosses, man.
Dude, there's like 4 or something Piper Marios. I don't
Piper.
Paper Mario.
Paper Mario.
Piper.
There's like 4 of them. How am I gonna
Super
remember
Paper Mario.
like a certain enemy, man?
What type of art styles do you like, man? Les?
Art styles?
Yeah.
Okay, it depends on the game. If it's a newer type of game, I like realistic stuff, but older games, like, okay, if I'm gonna play something that's like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, a cartoony art style is the best.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you notice how fucking awful the graphics are.
Yeah, like look at like Bubsy 3D. Like Bubsy was great as a 2D game. Once they're trying to make that shit with polygons, it looked like crap.
It's a
looked
real
awful,
platformer.
right?
Yeah, you're
So,
jumping on platforms.
Earthworm Jim looked great when it was hand drawn. Once they did him in 3D, he looked like garbage. So that's a good example of like, I mean, Earthworm Jim,
I'll tell you a Zelda game. The Wind Waker.
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker looks good considering that, like, if they tried to do it realistic then, it would have looked
Weird.
It would have looked better than Ocarina of Time, but it would have also looked like butt.
You know what? There's Wind Waker where it's just like super stylized, and then there's Twilight Princess, and there's obviously an audience for both. Like one of them is just like distinctly more artistic, but the other one is kind of more nitty gritty and kind of like more realistic. And
I like Twilight Princess. I look at it now and I'm like, yeah, it's not the best graphics, but I don't know. I like it more. If I had to pick, I would like it more than like the what do you call it? Blah, blah, I just said the name of the damn game.
Twilight Princess. No,
Ocarina of Time?
No, the water one.
Oh, Wind Waker.
Wind Waker, yeah.
Is there another type of Legend of Zelda game that follows that same type of art style? I think that's the only one.
I don't know.
That's the one I know.
portable ones are always kind of more cartoony looking, because they're like overhead style, you know, like.
Yeah, actually, what is it? Link Between Worlds.
Yeah.
He has like his blonde hair back and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I was playing the Minish Cap, and yeah, it's like when it's the
Oh
overhead
yeah, no,
games.
I guess that's kind of like similar.
Yeah, they're kind of more like that kind of cartoony Wind Waker style, I would have to say.
Yeah, it's depending on how well like the enemies in the game look. But For me, I would say like Paper. I'm really kind of gravitating towards like Paper Mario type of style.
Mario? Yeah,
Because it's like it does a decent job of like making it look good. With
I agree with that. It looked cool.
Super Mario Galaxy, the first one, does it really well as well. What else? I'm trying to think.
Super Mario Galaxy looks like an upgraded version of Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah. There is a type of art style. Like, there's certain art styles where it's just like either they like one of the art styles I don't enjoy though is just what is it? It's the new Marios now. Like, they look way too glossy.
Glossy?
Yeah, like they just
Bring up
don't.
3D Super Mario World.
3D Super what?
No, like
3D Mario
Galaxy.
World.
Yeah,
The one with
Mario Kart Wii. The
Oh, you're right, yeah.
New Super Mario Bros.
Oh, I know something.
I don't know. It just kind of is a bit gross for me. You know, just
what I like is the turtles. When you get them out of their shell, they got their underwear.
yeah. They added that now.
I like that. That makes me happy.
Little details.
The little details.
It's little things that make it matter. And that's one.
He basically becomes John McClane. He's Koopa McClane.
Remember we're talking about like the Somali pirates and all that shit? It's like the Koopa's version of like
Die
the
Hard.
events and ever Die Hard with
So-
Mario's Hans Gruber.
Mario Gruber. Hands Mario.
Is there anything else we needed to cover?
Recent news: Xbox One they've reduced the price by $100.
You know why? You know
because
how?
they removed the Kinect.
Yeah, because nobody fucking wants that thing. Can you believe it took Microsoft this long to figure this out?
No, it's kind of like they need to push it. They need
Why?
it to push
Why
it.
do they need to push the
Because
Kinect?
they stuck with it. Because as I
And
see,
why did they stick with it?
be-
I'm like, I don't understand. Like people are like, oh, this is a smart move. No, it's not, because they should have done this to begin with.
They shouldn't have, but the thing is, I mean, coming from like where I'm at, my current job right now, it's kind of like, well, we're kind of stuck in this mess. We got to kind of finish it. I think it was probably like that. Like they put it out there, and they're like,
your mess of working on
we
Transformers.
we gotta.
Remember, this is just. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh, geez.
I don't even have to say what I'm doing, but I could just say like, when you work in like, the
Projects, creative
entertainment,
projects,
creative projects and stuff. Whether you're working in games or animation or music or something, it kind of sucks when someone has a bad idea and it gets green lit. So then once it's green lit, there's money being invested, and when there's money being invested, even if it's like a stupid idea to begin with, they have to just go ahead and try to market it.
Nintendo didn't keep pushing the Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
And yet, like...
Well, that one actually caused you to not feel like...
And I bet there was like nobody who wanted to make games for the Virtual Boy. Like no, they're like no, let's.
Didn't they make like a small? They made a version of Star Fox.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't
Oh, no,
Star Fox.
it was like a.
It wasn't Star Fox. It was a shooting game, but the thing was, because everything was all red and shit, you couldn't even tell it was happening. Like you couldn't tell it was
Polygon
a wall
Fighters
or
or
not.
something like that.
Yeah.
And your eyes would burn. And look, the point is, man, is that like okay. The Kinect was a bad idea when it was on the 360.
Oh yeah.
And it was a bad, even worse idea on this fucking thing because it's like barely better.
Yeah.
It's barely better. Like they're like, oh, this version's gonna be better, and it's like, look, this isn't worth it because it's not that much better. It's for this stupid
which version?
thing, the Kinect like
the Kinect
version 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
It is better.
yeah, it's not worth it. It should be like it should
it.
be a lot better for like this crappy thing, you know?
Well, I mean, it honestly, it's like progress is better than no progress.
But
I
it's
can
like,
see now. Sorry, with
dude,
this level.
this is, but it's like polishing a turd, in my opinion. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
polishing
It's
a
like,
turd.
oh, it's better. It's like, well, so fucking what? It's still terrible,
still
even if
sucks.
it's better. It still sucks. Nobody wants to play with it.
I can see what you're saying, Josh, about how this Mario 3D Land, it looks so polished, because this looks it looks way brighter and colorful.
It's a
way
bit too
more than-
saturated.
Yeah, more
Okay,
than
and
like
it's
the
just-
other
it's
Mario
like-
games.
This is what I thought that Skyward Sword looked like. It was
Really?
like too
Too bright.
Yeah,
colorful.
you've seen it, right? You remember what it
A
looked like.
lot of pastel colors. That's when it's like really bright, like bright pinks and yellows and stuff like that.
Well, it's just.
Which I don't mind if it's a kids game or like something like
Yeah,
game
like,
where it's like
look, a Kirby game, it makes perfect sense.
exactly. You know,
But the thing is,
Yoshi's
just
Island,
like
Yoshi's Island also.
Yeah, Yoshi's Island, but like for I don't know, like for also as I said before, like Mario Kart Wii, it just feels gross to look at because they also added like lens flare as well to
But
Mario Kart Wii.
it's like the Virtual Boy. It's like hard to look at that shit.
Yeah, no, it will. I mean, like borrowing already my restrictions with like motion sickness and stuff like that, which just makes it like kind of hard to play certain games. Like oh man, speaking of like games that just do not mix well with me.
Go ahead, Skyward Sword. I mean,
Nah,
what's it called? No, Skyrim.
Skyrim, yeah, it's just like that type of art style where it's like they're trying so hard to do realistic and it just doesn't look nice.
Well,
Like
yeah.
you have to like what is it? Apparently, like anytime the games actually come out, it just doesn't look good until you have to like mod it or something like that.
Well, that's what it was. It's like the best version of that was the computer version because they modded it to look good.
Yeah, and then so like it's like I don't like when people say like, oh, Skyrim looks so good. It's like you needed to mod it to look good. Like it needs to stand by itself to look good.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the thing. Is like, how do you judge a game when you're talking about like, are you going to judge it by what it was like when it first came out, or like the finished product, like 6 months later once they've patched the hell out of it and stuff? Like
you can't wait for that long.
Like, yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's-
Like, well, how do you judge it? Do you judge it by like first day when it's a fucking mess, or do you judge it?
you need to.
Because the games are always a fucking mess the first day they come out.
No, they're not. Some of them actually look decent because they're not just like, oh, dear, like
That's-
just push it out. Like,
Yes, you're right. There are games like that, but they're kind of like a minority now. Holy shit, they destroyed that fucking place so quickly.
what game is this?
this is
Rampage.
This is the Nintendo 64 version of Rampage,
Oh,
which
snap.
is frustrating. I think
Yeah, it's weird how
it's hard to play this version.
Yeah, it's weird how like this is like
The controls aren't very good.
Yeah, the old school one and then the GameCube one are better.
Yeah. This is a good example of when controls kind of ruin a game.
Yeah.
This game it's not terrible.
What's the most important thing about a game? Being able to play it.
Yeah,
Controls.
If they had tightened up the controls like the way the original was, it would have been way more fun.
Yeah, well, how the hell does the controls on a game from like the Atari days, the late Atari days, have better controls?
I don't know. It's one of those things where they had it like a perfect system, like kind of like Contra. It was perfect how you could shoot in all 8 directions, and you had that freedom of control, right? The best part when you're free to do whatever. And
For
then
open world,
they'll
I think
change it
that's
so
also-
you can't shoot when you're going downstairs, you can't shoot when you're jumping, or you can only shoot.
Isn't that kind of like
4
a
directions.
Castlevania thing where it's like they couldn't
Yeah.
like jump when you were on stairs?
They do it.
Oh.
They do like stupid things.
No, but
like
I think
that.
some games like that it's intentional because it's like it kind of adds to the challenge of
To
the
the
game.
challenge, yeah.
They make artificial restrictions like that, and like it can make the game better. I don't think it's always a bad thing.
That's true.
However,
It's
it
not always
can
a bad
like
thing.
if it's in a critical area, like you'll notice something
Like,
very quickly if
when
it's baloney.
Yeah, when it's bullshit, you can tell it's bullshit.
Like, oh man, I think there's a type of Ghostbusters game, like not the most recent one, but like when you're trying to go up the stairs.
Oh, are you talking
and-
about the first one, that
I think so.
abomination
And-
on the NES?
And you
Yeah.
have to leave like ghost food or something.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
the
Yeah,
one.
And like
That's
you're
the
trying
one.
to go up the stairs, and like the ghosts are
There's
still
like
on the
100
screen with you.
floors.
Yeah,
You have to go over like 50 staircases.
They made it to scale to like how many floors there are in the game. It's like,
And like someone like I think it was Angry Video Game Nerd. He had to use a cheat to go like super fast up the stairs. Like to anyway. All right.
But do you think this is a game where the control was meant to be a challenge? Like
no, I'll tell you an example of a game like that. Bionic Commando, you can't jump. And you're like, this is stupid, why can't I jump? It's like, no, it's important for the game. Because they made another one, a sequel, where you could jump, and it totally destroyed the game mechanics because you could jump. And thus, they were like, well, everything's too easy, so we'll make things more difficult. So areas, you know what I mean, right? You get what I'm saying,
So
right?
areas are like you need to
Well,
think.
they had
Well, the
to-
thing, the main concept around that is your grapple arm. Like that's
Yeah.
your
So-
way. Like you don't. if you had a grapple arm, you wouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna jump. It's like, no, I'm gonna use my grapple arm to get to my kitchen. Like,
no, but it was like there were things in that like, oh, because you can't jump. Okay, you know that VVV thing where there's that leg you can't get over. There was stuff like that in Bionic Commando, so it forced you to think and use your arm strategically. But then they had, like, you know, the sequel where you could jump, and then they had to, like, well, because you can do that, now we have to make the game different and have to have challenges that are based on, you know, being able to jump. And then it kind of, like, it shifted the game's focus, and it made the game, like, not good, you know?
The layout of, like, the overworld, I guess, like, looks very much to, what is it, Bionic Commando Rearmed or Remastered?
Well, yeah, because that game's like a remake. It's very similar to this one. I really like the original because they put a lot of effort into
it. And they wanted to keep it as close to
the like, it's made by, like, fans, kind of, guys who really enjoyed it.
So, so basically it's kind of like the same layout. So, but in those type of games, you, like, if you're able to jump, like, it totally breaks the game. Like, that's kind of...
Yeah, anyways,
like,
that was all I was saying.
And you're able to jump, you're like, why would you even flip? And most of the times.
Yeah, exactly. If you could just jump from one platform to the next, it would totally wreck the whole game mechanics. And it would... I mean, the game mechanics of VVV is, you know, as part of what makes it fun, is the whole flipping thing.
Alright.
I hated when Godzilla was googly-eyed. When they gave him those
that
big
was
eyes.
The dark age of Godzilla. That was the time of the son of Godzilla.
Someone like Photoshop Cookie Monster's head.
That's
what he looked like. You look like Cookie Monster.
It's because they were trying to make him more kid-friendly.
Yeah.
Because his eyes before were like angry looking, and then that's when they made it all
eyes.
started to go downhill once they started to make like Son of Godzilla when he got a son, his stupid little son. And shit like that, and then it's like, oh god, it's all going downhill.
That's how he jumped.
I don't know.
Actually, wait.
He did suck it.
Okay, so movies, guys.
So, yeah,
how do you like your movies?
I like them not shitty.
I like my movies how I like pop.
Your coffee black.
Yes, I like the black movies. No.
Lately, me and Laz were talking about because you just saw Captain America.
Winter Soldier?
Yeah, Winter Soldier. And
Did you guys see it?
He saw it with his friends, and he said it was okay, but it was too long, right?
Too long.
And that's a problem when movies they're good, but they should have ended like 20 minutes sooner.
Yeah.
They just kind of drag on, and that's
you're
kind of
tired.
And you're kind of like you want to get to the end of it.
You want to enjoy the final fight scene, but you're tired.
Yeah, you like want to leave already.
Yeah.
So that's like a thing with movies. It's like I don't mind if they're long because I mean like The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings are like 3 hours long, but those movies aren't boring and I don't mind watching.
You know what? I didn't feel The Hobbit was as long as everyone said it was.
I know, but then there's some.
But then again, if you don't enjoy a film, you're gonna watch the clock.
Yeah, that's very.
It's like it's not just like The Hobbit. It used to be like, oh, it's a big fantasy epic. Yeah. Okay, look at all the superhero movies. Aren't they all friggin' long?
Iron Man is like 2 hours long.
Yeah, okay, the last Spider-Man 2 or whatever, that was like almost 3 hours. Like they're all like all
2.5 hours.
Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Yeah,
it's like 3 hours?
No, it wasn't 3 hours.
It's almost like 3. It's like 2.5 hours.
It's like 3 hours. I'm like, oh man, an hour for each villain.
Pretty much,
awesome.
yeah. That's the problem, right? So that's the thing. It's like sometimes.
You know what? The whole thing is like I'm seeing people talk about like the whole fight with Harry and the whole fight with Electro. No one's talking about Rhino.
Yeah,
this is kind of concerning me. Maybe because he's just a giant mech, and I don't know, they pulled a giant slug for his battery.
They just stuck him in there. He really doesn't have much to do with the story, apparently. So he could have been cut out of the movie, which would have saved time. Yes. And that's the thing. I think that's the problem.
If they cut him out,
trim the fat.
Because that's the thing. They gotta realize when, like, with movies, they don't need to cram as much as they can because that just it just makes the movie bloated and too long, right? So that's like kind of a thing. I don't like
how you treat each villain and like because the thing
treat
is
each
like
character, right? Each plot element.
Because the thing is, it's kind of like trying to make like a type of like food, and you're trying to incorporate different flavors, and like not trying to have any one of them overpower the others, even though they're like very close to actually doing that.
Yeah, and the burden, like the whole like.
Kind of a one-dimensional character because that's all he does.
Yeah, kind of.
If
It's
you
really
don't
Sam
change,
who's
like-
more
like-
the hero.
Like if you try to show someone being a hardened person with just him having like his face never moves, he always has a furrowed brow. He's always frowning.
he's a very shallow character.
Like you need to have
If
him
all he does
expressing
is-
different emotions. But then again, it also helps if you have an actress or actor.
Here's a classic movie that may have kind of
Who's the person who plays in Twilight?
Kristen Stewart.
Yeah. Okay. Before
She's technically an actress.
before I learned she was on the movie scene and stuff like that, like even before Twilight, like I had seen her in the movie Speak, which was like a book to movie adaptation of a book.
Another.
No, I think it was
More
Stones.
franchise.
Anyway, it was about a girl. It was about a girl being raped and stuff like that, and it was like this entire thing about like this culture of like, oh, she's such a blah blah blah, but everyone was misunderstanding her, and it was like her acting chops aren't such great in that either.
Oh my God,
That sounds wonderful.
You know what? If you have a movie about a girl who gets raped, you need good acting. Because that movie would be an abomination.
Well, on the plus side, you
I'm
actually
imagining Kristen Stewart with her
Did I say
attempting
Kristen
acting.
Dunst or Kristen Stewart?
Kristen Stewart.
Who's Kristen Dunst? Anyway.
Kristen Dunst is the one girl from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The original.
But I'm like, oh God, that movie must be painful to watch. The one you just described to me.
There's also the girl from The Mummy.
Kristen Stewart is.
Oh no, she was decent.
Yeah.
I mean, she was interesting. Because she tried her very best to be as best as the men.
She's kind of cute.
Kristen Dunst?
Yeah.
Chaos race.
Yeah, I know. That's a very memorable scene, and like the
When you
music and
showed
everything
that to
is
me,
very
Laz,
effective.
that freaked me out.
Yeah, no, it's one of the freakiest parts of the movie.
It's not the gore. It's not the blood. It's the animatronic puppet.
Yeah.
That like I was freaked out by the old stop motion things of like the Cyclops like going after the like.
Oh, Clash of the Titans?
Clash of the Titans.
Oh,
like in the old,
Ray
just like,
Harryhausen.
and also the first Terminator when he's like out of his skin and he's moving.
Yeah.
When you're janky like that, that's actually more realistic than smooth motion.
I got a flag. It's Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio Jr., remember?
Oh, with the ladder match?
Remember that they had the custody papers like hanging from a wire?
Oh, man.
You don't remember that?
No, I do remember when you
Wait,
showed me
is it two guys fighting over a kid or?
Yeah, it was Rey Mysterio Jr. and Eddie Guerrero. They're wrestlers.
Yeah.
And they had a kid, and Eddie Guerrero, the bad guy, that was his biological son, but Rey Mysterio Jr. raised him.
Oh.
So they had the custody papers were like in a briefcase hanging from the wire from the roof. So it was a ladder match that climb up.
Someone else said like instead of having the custody papers, just have the kid
hanging from the wire.
Kid. Yeah,
And, like,
sure.
like,
they,
if
they,
you-
would,
if
they
you-
would get in trouble for hanging a kid.
No. I mean, just like from a kid, like what is it?
Hanging from the back.
Like a torso holder, and like if you modded a video game, to, like instead of a briefcase, it's just like
It's
a
just
kid,
a kid
and they have to
hanging
like wiggle him a bit to get him off.
Rey Mysterio Jr. or whatever's up there.
So on the topic of movies, I could talk about animated movies. Being an animator, I
Go for it, man.
share my opinion on what makes a good animated movie.
All right.
Because I was thinking about
First off, not too many characters.
I was thinking about Pinocchio because that's a classic. It's one of the oldest.
Pinocchio.
It was the second Disney movie, second animated feature. First one being Snow White. And you watch that movie now, and man, does it hold up?
Yeah.
It looks great. The animation's fantastic.
For the whale scene, actually,
Yeah.
I think that like it's all hand drawn.
Monster of the Whale was animated great. The backgrounds are still some of the most amazing hand-painted backgrounds I've ever seen in an animated film. And it's just good villains. That was where the witch in Snow White is pretty memorable, but I think Pinocchio, like Stromboli, the evil puppet master, that evil dude who's kidnapping all the kids in Pleasure Island when they become donkeys and making them work in the salt mines. That's some dark shit right there.
Well, yeah, no.
And then of course Monster of the Whale was scary as hell when he's like chasing after Pinocchio and he jumps out of the water and flies at the camera and opens his mouth. That's a very scary shot.
It's very,
You remember that shot where his jaw opens and then he just hits the rock like
full speed.
He like turns into like a slinky or a spring like that.
Oh.
His tail just like flattens.
So did he die from that?
I don't know. That's like the last shot you see of him in the movie.
Do you ever watch animated films or even stop motion films or stuff like that? Kind of
Old or new?
Old or new. Tintin was the newest one I saw.
Oh, Tintin was actually really good.
No, maybe I saw one after that.
I think like Spielberg did that well.
Tintin's good.
I think that was the best movie Spielberg made recently.
Yeah.
Because the last, what did he do other than
Lincoln?
Yeah, he did Lincoln.
He did Lincoln.
Yeah.
Doesn't he just? I guess he doesn't just do sci-fi then.
Yeah, he did
He
Lincoln.
doesn't really,
he did
because he's
War
like-
Horse. Yeah.
He did War. He did. No,
it's
because what's his face is kind of like his successor, his pupil or whatever. J.J. Abrams.
Oh.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Well, because he's kind of doing the sci-fi shit that Spielberg used to do.
Yeah, because Super 8, you saw Super 8, right?
Yeah, that was they had like an amazing movie, and the ending killed it because it was like he's just trying to get home. He's eating people. He's like capturing people. He was gonna eat you too. Person who was saying he just wants to get home.
That's the biggest problem with that movie is they couldn't make up its mind whether the alien is dangerous or friendly. J.J. Abrams was really trying to copy Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind that Steven Spielberg directed. Yeah. So
Casio keyboard.
you can see it like with Super 8 and Star Trek. He clearly is very inspired by Spielberg, but a lot of directors are.
Yeah, I guess everyone is.
So, but yeah, Tintin was probably one of the best movies Spielberg has done in a while, or at least entertaining.
Yeah,
because I didn't see Crystal Skull all the way through, but what I did I didn't really like. Did you see it?
I saw it fully. It was weird because like Harrison Ford still wanted to do his own stunts. I'm like, sure,
he's an old man.
He tries to do swinging. He tries to swing from one Jeep to another.
Must be embarrassing.
Oh yeah, that's in the trailer. He like fell and he's like,
no,
he
he didn't fall. Like it was the one where he's like on the front and he like swings and he like
goes backwards, right?
He moves so rigidly. Like if you accidentally bend his arm in a weird way, it's gonna snap off. His age is showing too much.
And it's probably like they're traveling really fast, but it's just CG backgrounds. So then he's like swinging all slow, and the background's all like looking all exciting. And
see, in a case like that, where you're going for like an Indiana Jones type adventure, it's almost better to have a CG.
Shia LaBeouf actually did a decent job.
Don't even go there.
Don't defend him.
See, it's better to have a CG character like Tintin, like swinging and doing that stuff.
Yeah.
That's almost more believable than old Harrison Ford trying to swing and hurting himself.
Unless you can get a young guy to do that shit. If you have like old people doing it, you just make it CG.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of depressing me? Like Jackie Chan is also kind of
Jackie
He's an old man.
I know. So now all he does is comedies.
Yeah.
It's basically what happened to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, that's true.
No, Diesel for a little
while. No, wait a second. Arnold could still do action shit when he was doing those stupid comedies.
He did some action stuff last year. He did Escape Plan.
I'm just saying that, like,
vegetarian. That's the best thing.
He didn't start doing the comedies because he was too old. He just started doing the comedies because, I don't know, money or something.
Money, and he had kids.
Money.
Anyways,
it's like Ice. Oh no, that's the $1 Million Man's song.
Okay, go on.
Do you want to hear it?
No. I would say for me, it would
Tintin. Yeah, sorry.
Tintin for you.
Well, no. That's what he said.
That's what I said.
I said Pinocchio.
I would say a really good one that kind of sticks out in my mind. Like, it's kind of sticks out in everyone's mind if they've seen it. Caroline or Coraline? No, Coraline, made by Tim Burton.
Correlation?
Oh.
No, Coraline.
I never saw that.
Guys, you really need to watch it. It's actually,
I kind of looked at it and went, "Oh, it looks like a rip-off of The Corpse Bride," and I was like,
which is a rip-off of Nightmare Before Christmas.
It's not a rip-off of The Corpse Bride.
Yeah, it's not. It looked like that at first, like when I saw the poster, but then when I actually saw like some trailer scenes and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, it's a different movie, but I didn't know what it was about, other than
really
Coraline.
Like the plot and just the entire setting of it, really it kind of it delivers a really good punchline on just kind of like when you're never satisfied with what you have and stuff like that, and you try to go for something that's like too good to be true, like. Be ready for consequences.
Oh, why do you go out of your way to avoid good films, Josh?
I don't. I just like it's.
Oh, I've never
like,
seen the Star Wars. I love Jar Jar Binks. I like him.
You really should watch it.
I
though,
don't
Josh.
mind the character Jar Jar Binks. You know what?
We should go down a list of like the top 10,
Top
the top
10
100 films. We should just go through them all and go like, Josh, I've watched this. I've watched this. We watched like the best
We
films.
would say all of them are no, except for RoboCop and Total Recall. At least you watch those two.
You saw Aliens.
Oh, Aliens, yeah.
Yeah, we should just go a list of all like the
You haven't
all
seen
these
Predator,
great
right?
movies.
No.
Okay, you
past,
gotta see Predator.
30 years.
Predator. No.
Oh my
Is that the one with Danny Glover?
No, the second one, yeah. No, the first one has Arnold Schwarzenegger in it.
Doesn't the Predator not attack you if you have like, if you don't have any weapons or something?
Yeah.
It's not fair. He only hunts you if you're armed too, because it's like.
So why didn't they drop all
rules.
their weapons?
Because
they didn't know it was they didn't know that.
And
was,
they had already been firing their guns at him, so it was already too late.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. They only figured it out later.
Yeah. Because
You know, it's weird. Like they
only figured out after because they had a hostage, right? They had a girl and she didn't have a weapon. So then when the Predator kills the guy who's kind of like holding her or whatever, the Predator doesn't kill her, and they're like, why didn't he kill you? And like, oh, because she didn't have a weapon.
Yeah,
sport.
It's weird because they had like they kind of mix like a Tarzan type of thing with like super futuristic technology.
Yeah.
Like it's like such like they have cloaking devices and yet they keep skulls as like trophies.
Right. It's a trophy.
That's what they do. They keep the antlers and stuff.
Okay,
anyways,
I can get that, but
yeah.
what about the Tarzan loincloths that they wear?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Well,
that.
why do they not wear a lot of
Why do they wear
Why do they
fishnets?
why
does the Predator wear fishnets?
Why do they
right?
wear leather bracelets and stuff like that?
He doesn't wear a leather bracelet. His bracelet is like one of them is a weapon,
One of
and
them
the
is
other
the gauntlet,
and the other
and the
one
other
is
a bomb. Right?
Yeah, the other one's the bomb.
And it also it activates his cloaking.
Why is it made out of leather though? Like
It's metal. You haven't seen the damn movie. It's metal.
I've seen certain
It
scenes.
goes. It's made of metal.
You will know me as the person who's seen enough.
You will
little
know
bits and
me
pieces.
as the guy who doesn't know what he's talking about. Remember that horrible thing with Ian McClane when he was Gandalf, where he was in that room and he started crying because he's in that they're just doing the CG thing,
yeah,
and he's just talking to like little like things. That was depressing.
Well, that's just,
okay. What it was is that they were doing this scene where he's basically in this room they're going to CG everything.
It's a scene where they're all at the dinner tables, all the dwarves and Gandalf sitting there, and Gandalf is bigger than the dwarves, right?
Yeah.
So to achieve that, they have to have Gandalf or Ian McKellen. He's on a separate stage than all the other actors because he's like, bigger than everyone else.
Yeah.
So they have to film him separately and then blow him up later. So, but the thing is, he had to interact with them too. But the thing is, they're not even in the same room with him, so they would just have like lights and cameras with photos of people's faces.
That
He would look over at like if he was supposed to be talking to Martin Freeman in one scene, he would look over at like something, the equivalent of like a tennis ball or something with Martin's face on it, right? And then be like, well, Bilbo, you have to go on this mission because you are the hobbits and the 13th man. And then they would, then he has to like talk to someone else and be like, oh, well, this Berglas is gonna, he has to talk to Thorin and he's like, I cannot guarantee his safety. And he's like, you must trust me on this. And he's just talking to like a pole, right? And it's tough because like, they'll be acting and he has to react to them, but see, he can't see them, so it's just like they were messing up like every take. And he's like, I can't do this. I'm not acting with people. I'm like trying to act with myself in a room, like or in an empty room by myself.
Yeah.
So I look at like Pixar's like they've got a lot of great movies that a lot of people love. Disney also has like a lot of their old stuff, like Pinocchio.
Old stuff, not new stuff.
Yeah, not the new stuff. But I mean, I like Wreck-It Ralph.
They still make
I like Wreck-It Ralph.
That's good.
I like.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would
like,
make farting noises.
I like The Incredibles.
They're making a second one.
Yeah, I know. I love that. I love they're finally doing that.
They
right?
just announced this year that they're writing the screen. Like that's going to take way.
It's going to be a while before we see it.
Yeah, pre-production will be like a year or longer.
Probably going to be 25 when that comes out, and I wouldn't mind.
I don't mind because like I'd rather they take their time and make a good movie than just rush to put a sequel out.
You
mean like Cars 2?
That's always what happens.
Planes 2.
Yeah.
Cars 3.
Even Mars.
That's coming out.
Yeah. Oh,
Guess what? There's also a spin-off TV show off
Okay.
of Cars and
Let's
Planes.
talk about that for a second.
Let's
talk about that for a second.
Oh, God.
That's the thing.
direct,
See, like I thought for a while Pixar was on this streak. They just couldn't do any wrong, and then they started making these Cars movies, and then I kind of
That destroyed everything.
that kind of did just that broke their winning streak, and then DreamWorks. Like I think Rango came out the year Cars came out, and I was like way more interested in that than Cars.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Yeah.
It was a super flip.
So, yeah, and then
It really bugged me that DreamWorks made it and like not because DreamWorks was always like doing pop culture things and like
yeah, like DreamWorks did that Will Smith fish movie, right?
Yeah, it's your favorite.
But no, but then like
Kim Pass Fish.
The most
How to Train Your
original,
Dragon.
the most original
They
cartoon
did,
ever.
the Fresh Fish of Bel Air.
Yeah.
they did that one, The Croods, and like they've just been.
Oh yeah, that dragon training thing.
Yeah.
Everyone loves.
A lot of people
I know
like
how
that
to
one.
train my dragon.
But like, so seeing that stuff, and then like then they did Cars 2, and then Planes and stuff like that. I just felt like they were on this streak where they were coming up with all these original ideas and original stories.
They're daring. They're
They-
willing to try things. And,
Yeah.
and take risks.
Yeah, and put like of course like every movie they made was always really polished. Animation was great. They put a lot of work in the story.
I wonder if any
And
of
now
the
it's
people
like-
actually left though.
Yeah, they did. That's what happened.
Really?
Yeah, there was a lot of people who I think they left and went. They either went to DreamWorks or they went to like another animation studio. 'Cause
That's
normally
how
happens.
DreamWorks was able to
Yep.
make Rango.
That's what happens because the thing is that usually people will work for the studio that they enjoy working at, like whether it's the people or just like the atmosphere or it's just it's closer to their house or whatever. it's like
or with equipment.
Pixar might have the name and everything going for it, but if they're someone's like an animator or an artist is happier working at DreamWorks or another place, then it's like they're going to go there. And that's ultimately going to affect the films too, because I think that the big success behind My Little Pony is the people who made it. Like the directors are like the best, the animators. They got the best people working on it, and they got the best writers and stuff too.
The best animators.
Yeah, no, really,
We spared no expense.
because we put a lot of work into it, and what could have been just like whatever. The thing I hate that they screwed up in Amazing Spider-Man 2, that
What?
they screwed up Amazing Spider-Man 1. No, J. Jonah Jameson!
What?
Still no. He's like my favorite character.
Wait, doesn't he work for the Daily Bugle?
no.
He owns the Daily Bugle.
What?
He's like a blogger or something.
Oh,
Oh no, he doesn't work for the newspaper in that. There's no J. Jonah Jameson.
Can he work? Okay.
Oh, man,
okay.
alive.
How about this? How about he works for what's that thing that Carlisle used to work for?
Ain't it cool news?
Yeah, Ain't It Cool News.
Yeah, he works for
Ain't It Cool News, owned by J. Jonah Jameson.
Well, Ain't It Cool News is owned by Harry Knowles.
No, but it'd be something like that. It's like some kind of internet thing, and he's a
Even that.
he's a blogger for that, but J. Jonah Jameson owns it.
I guess like
Parker, you're fired.
he's
Parker,
not
you're hired.
really,
Write
like,
another blog post.
Yeah, he's not really like essential to the plot, but he's just such a good character, and like
Spider-Man wouldn't be Spider-Man without J. Jonah Jameson.
Especially-
Or there's something about their bodies that is like...
Yeah, they don't eat gluten.
well, the way the elves are portrayed in the movies is like they're all vegetarians.
Yeah, but it's just like...
They eat lambus bread, remember? So they eat gluten.
Oh wait, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like...
So they have like magic gluten.
Magic-
Like it actually
magic
like it's
gluten.
good for you. It's not bad for you.
Fuck that gluten bullshit.
Yeah, man.
But, like-
The intro of "This Is the End" summed it up with the whole gluten thing. You're like, you probably heard someone say gluten's bad, and you're like, oh, I guess I shouldn't eat gluten. Like he doesn't even know what gluten is. He's like, oh, everything that's bad, we call it gluten. Sugar, that's a gluten. Salt, that's a gluten. Fat, that's a gluten. Like, no, it's not. You don't even know what gluten is.
I saw Captain America. That was new.
Yeah, that's the Winter Soldier.
So
Yeah.
what did you like about the film, though?
I thought the scene. Okay, it was an action film, so obviously you go in there for popcorn action.
Yeah.
I liked it. Kind of made the Shield are kind of the guys who kind of are supposed to be like basically the U.S. military and the U.S. intelligence apparatus, and it basically makes them look bad.
because it's kind of like they're kind of doing shit that's like really iffy and shit like that. Like Captain America describes it as you're holding a gun to every single person in the world as kind of like a threat. Like they're what he's like, and it's
That's
kind
interesting.
of yeah.
that's kind of
So they are kind of like referencing like
The TSA or like
NSA stuff
NSA,
and the drone bombings and kind of like like the questionable legality of a lot of the shit they've done in the war
So
on
they
terror.
pull the whole
like
thing
that.
of like it's for your safety.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
whole thing.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
all about that.
You're right.
Are you guys done with recording this podcast today?
So
Haven't
each-
we covered all the points?
Yeah, no.
Every time you
I ran out of points a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so I guess this is the end of the podcast then.
we got some movies, we got some games in there. We were talking about some weird tangents. This is just the start. This is the first one of these, and we'll see where we go from here, right, Josh? You're
Oh
gonna
yeah, this
see
is,
what you can do.
I'm gonna work my magic on this. Watch as no magic is added to this, and it's just
And what I was kind of hoping for is that, like, I'm kind of surprised that we weren't like laughing about anything. Like, we kind of talked about stuff, but we never got like jokey and like humorous about stuff. I don't know.
Oh, we kind of did when we were watching the videos, but then usually we were recording when we were watching the videos.
Yeah. Anyway, all right.
Maybe we could record us watching the videos, but
No, that's gonna take even more.